Hello everyone, very good morning. Welcome to StudyIQ English. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper class with me. I am Saumya. Like every day, you and I shall be looking at the Hindu newspaper New Delhi edition. All the UPSC relevant articles, we will keep interacting, talking about them, simplify them, understand the concepts from scratch so that not only are we able to solve all the GS questions in prelims, but also we have a strong foundation to write mains answer. And on that note, before I can proceed with the list of articles that we have to discuss today, let me quickly welcome in today's class my dear students who have joined us already, including Rishi, Anushka, Neelam, Sitaram, Bulbul, Terukula, and Prasad Satya. We have Kaizen, we have Priyanshu, we have Prasad, Sumedh, Iba, Saurav, Kojumba. So, very good morning, each one of you. Very good morning. Okay, as I see you have exams, all right. So, God bless you. And I hope all of you do very well in your exams and you get the best possible marks and you have a beautiful future there. So, those who have exams might take a break, but that's okay. You can watch the recorded sections and you can also, whenever you join, you're always welcome. After all, this is your class. Thank you very much, Kojumba. A very happy Sankranti to you, to all, each one of you. Good morning, Shubham and Kritik. So, as other students keep joining, let me now quickly proceed with the first article for the day. You can see on your screen we have a list of about 8 articles. Now, today was a slightly lengthy newspaper. Many articles were quite important. For me, it was a challenge actually, which to take and which to ignore. So, what I did, I took all the articles from the editorial page. I found them very, very important. So, page number 8 was editorial, and as you can see, the first 4 articles are today editorial. I could not skip any of these. So, we will do them quickly. After that, there are some news that I have taken for the prelims from International Affairs foreign page, but I have not taken one or two smaller ones, but I will cover them in our conversation. So I will keep you updated with those also. So good morning there, Vanishka and many other code names, Yuvraj, Janvi, glad to see you. Now let's start with the first article for the day, bacha. Remember the first 4 are all editorial page, okay? And the first one we are looking at is about Iran itself. Yes. So with the map, let's have a look at Iran itself. Let us begin the article. So let's focus now on the key points of the article. Very good morning, Vikash. That's so sweet. Wishing each other best of luck, best of journey is a wonderful thing we can do. Good morning, Sitaram. Happy Sankranti, my dear. Let us now begin with the first article. So please focus. Listen carefully. The first article needs us to be in Iran. So let's have a look at the map and talk about it. What does this article say? Article is looking at the situation in Iran right now. Iran is making the headlines. We have seen a little background of Iran. Now, only if you were to look at the map of Iran, you will realize Iran's strategic location. Located in the West Asia, right to the Persian Gulf, just below the Caspian Sea. Iran is a very important country because it almost acts like a border. It almost acts like a boundary, a border between Asia as well as the West Asia, the Gulf country region. Now, Iran has been in the news for the last, I think, 10 years at least. Ultimately, because Iran is a big enemy of America. There are countries like Israel plus America. Then there is Saudi Arabia. All these countries look to Iran like a very dangerous nation. Why like that? Because I told you, although Iran is a member of Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, although in 2015, Iran had signed an agreement called as JCPOA with all the 5 permanent countries of United Nations Security Council plus Germany. Why? Iran said, I will not produce any nuclear weapon. Iran also, although it doesn't produce nuclear weapon, it is a member of non-proliferation. It has opened its country to International Atomic Energy Agency inspection also. But despite that, countries like America, Israel and Saudi are worried about Iran. They think that Iran has a big, great capacity to mine uranium, and that is what makes Iran dangerous. That's also the reason why, despite the JCPOA agreement, President Trump unilaterally abandoned the JCPOA in 2018 and then attacked Iran in 2025, targeted all the uranium sites of Iran, including the biggest underground nuclear facility known as Fardow. Fardow. So if you get in the news, if you get in the prelims, questions like to which country are Fardow, Natanz, Bushehr, all these, Ashfaya, to which countries are all these nuclear plants related to? These are all Iran. America attacked them in 2025. That's the fear and hatred they have towards Iran. Now let's look at Iran itself. You can see this country nicely on the map. You also know, as some students are also mentioning here, there is a very strategic point here. Look here. It is almost like a point that is sandwiched between UAE and Iran. This point is a strategic choke point because we often call this point as the Strait of Hormuz. As somebody just mentioned, Satya mentioned, about 12, rather much more, percentage of global oil trade passes from this area. Yes, very good, Rishi. 25% and more of trade passes through this area. It is a strategic choke point. So if Iran closes that, the world will have a problem. Yes. Plus, Iran is also famous for the Chabahar port. Very good, Kritik. Chabahar port is a key port for India under the IMEC, Indian Middle East Europe Economic Corridor. Yes. So Iran is a very vital country. Bandar Abbas port. Very good, Vikash. Yes. Correct. When you talk about Bab al Mandeb, then we talk about Yemen. Very good, Priyanshu. Now we are talking about Hormuz. If Iran is such a strategic country, then quickly listen to me, bacha. Why is Iran in a problem? Now, looking at Iran, Iran is a country, bacha, which in 1979 had experienced a major revolution. It is known as Iranian Revolution. Why? Because that time Iran was ruled by king and the queen, monarchy. The last monarch dynasty was the dynasty of Muhammad, Muhammad Shah Pahlavi. In 1979, people of Iran fought against monarchy. They wanted to go to a different system. Now they started following theocracy. The last monarch family, Muhammad Pahlavi, his family was therefore removed. The crown prince, the young man who is in the news right now, Mr. Reza Pahlavi, he was removed. They were exiled from Iran, they went away. And Iran adopted theocracy. Yes, it was an Islamic revolution. I told you a country that is ruled by religious leaders is a theocracy. And therefore, in Iran, the Khomeini family became powerful. Today, the most powerful religious leader is who? Ayatollah Khamenei. Yes? After 1979, Iran was doing quite well, despite hatred from America, despite repeated sanctions on oil. Iran managed to maintain a stable country. But today, in 2025 and 26, for the first time after 1979, a major rebellion has broken out in Iran. Why? Years of, decades of sanctions from America on Iranian oil, decades of sanctions on Iranian trade has today shown the result. Iranian economy seems to be failing today. 64 plus percent of inflation. The value of Irani rial going as close to zero. No business, no employment, no job opportunities. Today, Iran is in an economic declining state. And therefore, after 1979, for the first time, people in Iran are now tired and fed up of this government. The young people are on the road right now. The revolution began with a group of people who are known as Bazari. Bazari. Bazari are the shopkeepers. They are the one who are now on the street demanding justice and job opportunities. This revolution started on 28th December 2025 and then later spread. The women are unhappy. Journalists, media unhappy. Shopkeepers, Bazari, merchant class unhappy. Young Generation Z unhappy. They are saying there is no economic opportunity. Today, finally, American sanctions have shown their result. Iran is a declining economy, and the government is only trying to control the protester. The ruler, Mr. Khamenei, says it is not about a protest, it is about the vested interest coming from Saudi and America. Countries like Saudi, Israel, and America are doing this to us. They are the ones who are actually creating this internal protest, but in reality, it is high time Mr. Khamenei understands Iran is in a collapse state. The currency has already collapsed, so therefore, right now, Iran is in a mess. Let's quickly talk about the Iranian mess, and then we see how other countries like America, Saudi, and Israel are looking at this as an opportunity. Yes. So, what is going on in Iran? Iran is experiencing a major civil unrest, severe economic distress, hyperinflation, 80%, 64%, a complete collapse of currency called rial. As I said, protest began on 28th December, coming from Bazari, the merchant business class who closed the shops, who are angry about currency devaluation. They are saying our imports are now unpurchasable. We can't buy anything. Plus, our country is in a complete collapse state. Unemployed young people and low paid workers have also joined the protest, turning it into a nationwide anti government momentum, anti government movement. Violence also happened. Now, this opportunity is a great opportunity for a man like President Trump, who hates Iran, who sees Iran like a great resource of oil and a dangerous country with uranium enrichment. A country where people are very loyal. So far, they have been very loyal to Khamenei. They are people who are consolidated by Shia denomination, by their own religious denomination. It's a dangerous country if it is united. America sees this as an opportunity, and America warned that even if the government touches or harms one protester, America will attack Iran. And despite the warning, the attack on protesters is going on. By January 13th, that's yesterday, 2,000 deaths are already reported by authorities, and many more people have been injured. What is the response of the government? Since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, which led to a movement from monarchy, removal of Muhammad Reza, to theocracy, the coming of Khamenei, Iran has seen for the first time such a major outbreak, and in its history, Iran has always used a four-stage procedure to control protest. What is the four-stage procedure? It starts by police attack on protesters. Then the government tries to talk to and negotiate with the protesters. Third, blaming the foreign power. Today, blaming America, Saudi, and Israel. Last, then comes prolonged pro-government rally. The government in frustration is now giving money to people and saying, go and start announcing pro-government agenda. Create a culture where people love their government. Create a, you can say, narrative, which may be false, but create a narrative that people love the government. This is the four-stage procedure Iran follows, finally followed by harsh punishment, death penalty to those found disloyal to the government itself. That's what Iran has done since history. But what is the current situation? The current situation shows Iran is in the third stage right now. The third stage, where people are being forced to take up pro government rally. It's in the third stage right now. Right now, the government is giving money. The government is giving handouts to the people and asking them, show to the world that you love your government. Take a stand against countries like America, Israel, say no to foreign interference. Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guards, and army are still loyal to Khamenei. It is the people and the citizens who are now demanding an alternate leadership. It is becoming dangerous because people are sometimes saying, call Mr. Reza Pahlavi back. Who is Reza Pahlavi? The son of the last king, Muhammad Pahlavi, the crown prince who is in exile in America. Khamenei is worried that this man has spent his life in America. He's a Western man now. If he comes back and becomes the young leader, Iran will also become pro America. America will capture Iran in no time. He is a pro Israel, pro American leader, Mr. Reza Pahlavi. People say, bring him back. They need an alternate leadership. Today, this shows the vulnerability of Iran. Why? Because the Bazari revolt is unprecedented. Never before have the merchant and shopkeepers done such kind of an anti-government propaganda. What are the long-term consequences? Long-term consequences are sanctions. This will attract further sanctions from Iran's government. America has already sanctioned Iran. There is no value for Irani oil, no value for Irani currency called riyal, plus corruption, plus lack of change in the economy. Very good, Kojumba, and some other student who said that too. Critic. Plus, women are angry. Long back, I told you a lady had died in government custody. Mahasa Amini. She became the symbol of resistance among women. Women said, we are not ready to be dominated once more. We need to be treated with equality. And in Iran, issues like corruption, lack of change, and US sanctions are not addressed so far. The youth, including women and minorities, are already alienated. They say this is a theocratic government. It's a very pro Islamic government. There is no place for women. There is no place for minority. Now that Iran is in such a terrible condition, comes the foreign power. Comes your President Trump. President Trump and Israel, both President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, are openly encouraging the protesters. They are openly encouraging the protesters, and that's the beauty of social media. You can ban internet. Irani government banned internet. You can ban telecommunication, but you can't stop people from communicating because social media revolution is already a cross-border revolution. People are still sharing pictures. People are still making phone calls. Today, Trump and Netanyahu say they are encouraging the protesters and saying protest even more. Now is an opportunity to defeat Khamenei and to bring Iran to its knees. They are openly saying, just like they did in the case of Saddam Hussein, that people fight your dictator. But there is one thing these global powers need to understand. Iran is a country which has tremendous capacity of retaliation and resilience. Why? Because when US and Israel had attacked Iran's nuclear facility in 25, I told you, Fardao, Natanz, Ashfaya, all these were attacked by the US special B-2 bombing technology. They were devastated. Within few months, Iran created the Fardao back. Today also, it's the largest underground nuclear facility for uranium enrichment in Iran. Similarly, the people of Iran are absolutely in love with their own culture, their own ethnicity. Let us not forget. It is, after all, Iran that, being a Shia country, is very loyal to its roots. The same Iran, therefore, also houses terror organizations like Houthi and Hezbollah, who are now trying to also capture Yemen and countries like Lebanon. People love their religious leader. Today, Iran still is a powerful country because Iran can close the Strait of Hormuz. Let's go back to the map. Iran can close the Strait of Hormuz, and if it does, then biggest nations like India, China will have a problem in supply chain. The global trade will get disrupted. Similarly, if Israel thinks that we can launch cyber attacks on Iran, America thinks we can make more sanctions on Iran, these are not going to help in the long term. Iran still has a very robust, I repeat, Iran still has a very strong bilateral trade with countries like UAE, China, Russia. If America thinks it can put sanctions and control, it can, but not completely. Iran still has a bilateral trade with UAE, Russia, and China, and that's a strong trade. Even with countries like India, the trade may have declined, but the trade continues. If you use secondary sanctions like cyber attacks, they are not long lasting, by the way. And why does it matter to a country like India? Because India is equally concerned. Now, please understand, West Asia has a major Indian diaspora. Many Indians work in this region, Iran. And Countries like Qatar, UAE, Bahrain, many Indians are working in Gulf. If Gulf is unstable, it will impact the safety of Indians. India gets its foreign remittance from there. So therefore, it may also injure that. At the same time, it may allow Pakistan to get a strategic leverage in this area if India completely boycotts Iran. In the past, because of America's sanction, India and Iran oil trade has become devastated. There was a point of time when India used to import majority of its crude oil from Iran. After China, India was the second largest buyer. But because of repeated American sanctions, it became impossible to do any petrodollar trade. And India, therefore, today is not buying any oil from Iran. The trade is today diversified completely. From a rich oil trade today. Today, India, Iran are trading in things like fruits, carpets, dates, some electronic items, pharmaceuticals. It is not in oil anymore. And that has impacted India's chances also. Plus, India needs Iran. Very good, Terukula. Very good, Satya. India needs Iran. Why? Because Iran is a major connectivity factor in IMEC. India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. That is an answer to China's Belt and Road Initiative. If for China it is Gwadar in Pakistan, for India, 70 kilometers away it is Chabahar in Iran. India has already invested multi crore rupees here. So any instability harms India. Yes, now, long term, sanction free Iran could be a major opportunity for India. But what we understand from here is that when a country experiences a deep problem, when a country experiences a lot of internal fracture, it is always the outsiders who take advantage. Today, America and Israel are those people who are ready to take an advantage. Now, how much can Iran withstand? How much can Iran control the protest? It is yet to be seen. Very good, Sumaid and Rishi. Then comes the international north south transshipment corridor. So, Iran is crucial for India. It bypasses Pakistan through Afghanistan, creates a link to Chabahar. We can't lose Iran. But then, whether Iran has stability, it is yet to be seen. Because I wanted everybody to understand the trade between India and Iran. I have put all of that in this page. I am double marking this page. You can revise it in future also. Because of American sanctions, oil trade has declined tremendously. Tremendously, it has declined. But today, there is some bilateral trade between India and Iran that continues. And what are these products? From India, we are exporting basmati rice, tea, sugar, fruits, and pharmaceutical products to Iran. From Iran, we are buying apples, pistachios, dates, kiwi, and nuts. Before American sanctions, we used to majorly import Iranian oil, but now we can't do that. The trade is declining. So that is the ugly side of American sanctions. Okay, I hope Iran is clear. Internal protest is clear. America, Israel, and India situation is clear to everyone. Quickly, the question, please. With reference to recent civil unrest in Iran, consider these statements. One, the immediate trigger for the protest is a sharp devaluation of Iranian rial, which made importing essential commodities economically impossible for traders. Second, Iran state, that is government. I told you, if we are using within Indian context, then state means 28 states, any of that. If we are using in global context, it means a country. So, Iran's government response to mass protest has historically included police crackdown, information control, ultimately punitive action against protest leaders, and three, foreign military intervention in Iran is considered a low risk option for external powers due to absence of Iran's retaliatory capabilities. Which of these are valid? Answers are coming in from Vikash Terukula, Rishi, Priyanshu, Sumed, Abhilash, Ramu is here. Good morning, dear. Prasad, Kojumba, Kritik, Saurav. Does Iran have a retaliatory capacity? Kritik says it does. Yes, Iran has. Very good morning, my dear Eric and the Bosmita. Iran has a retaliatory capacity. We have seen in the past people are very loyal in the name of Shia unity, very loyal towards theocratic government. So you never know, they can retaliate. They may put up a joint force, that's yet to be seen. We can't presume that Iran has no retaliatory capacity. Very good. Shiv, Tauthang, Bulbul aspirant, Satya, Diya, with this kind of a response, you need a huge round of applause. To everyone and to each one of my students, I absolutely clap in pride and admiration. A is the right answer. Very well answered. Excellent performance, as always. Quickly, the second article, Bacha. This is also editorial article. Good morning, Priyamvada. Good morning, Nagraj. Good morning, Arul. Second article is also editorial article. So please focus a little bit. We are looking at AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, the big data, and how does it harm us when it comes to environment and ecology. So this is a typical topic from UPSC GS paper 3. We are looking at environmental ecological problems, plus we are looking at science and technology. We are looking at artificial intelligence. Now, everything in life has some pro and some cons. If you say, is technology a good thing? You may get a philosophy essay saying that, is AI good for us in modern day society? I'm sure none of you can say, yes, it is very good. None of you can say it is horrible. You can't have that extreme viewpoint here because we know it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword. It has certain benefits, it has certain harm as well. Therefore, it is also an ethic paper question, GS paper 4. Yes. What does this article say? Let's quickly break down. Article is saying that today we are celebrating artificial intelligence so much. We are saying that robotics and machine learning will revolutionize the future of retail business, the future of teaching, pedagogy, the future of medical science, and the future of space and defense. It's good. Very good. Double-edged sword. But there is an issue that is being ignored. What is that issue? The issue is that while artificial intelligence and machine learning are giving us benefits of health, agriculture, space, disaster management, they have a very ugly environmental impact which people don't talk about. Recently, a report has come, and the report has been published by a body named as OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. This report highlights that AI development increases your carbon footprint. Carbon footprint. As a country which is called India, as the fourth largest economy, as a country with 1.4 billion people, as a country with the youngest population, as a country which says I will reduce 45% of my GDP by 2030, that's my nationally determined contribution. As a country which says I strongly believe in becoming carbon neutral by 2070, Viksit Bharat by 2047. As a country like that, how can we ignore the carbon footprint and environmental side effect of artificial intelligence? So let us look at what this article has to tell you. This article is saying that unfortunately, emissions coming from information communication technology and AI, artificial intelligence, have contributed to about 1.8 to 2.8% of global greenhouse gas emissions. Very good. Very good, Terukula Shiv Vikash. Absolutely, Abhilash. Yes, very well said. Did you understand what I just said? A report has come from OECD. It's a dangerous report. The report says that our carbon footprint, greenhouse gas emission is about 1.8 to 2.8, up to about 3.9% of global greenhouse gas emission. It is dangerous, very dangerous, because under legally binding protocols like Paris Agreement of 2015, we all have committed as the global community that we will not allow global temperature to increase above 2 degree. We will try to limit it to 1.5 degree above the pre-industrial level. As a country like that, to now 3.5% of global greenhouse gas emission, dangerous. Very dangerous. And thank you, Tauthang, that you spoke about Pax Silica. But your Pax Silica was in news yesterday. India might also join Pax Silica. They might. But then, as the world is running towards semiconductor, as the world is running towards critical minerals and REM, and eventually towards AI, the carbon footprint is a disaster. Very good, Vikash, and very good. Who said that? Vikash said that. Average age 28. India's fertility is lower than the replacement level fertility too. Very good. Valid points here. Very good. Absolutely. Too much usage of AI and ICT, information communication technology, is a disaster. What are the costs that we are paying as a global community? Let us understand. Now, please believe that every time you are using artificial intelligence, yes, you are creating a data center. Very recently, there was a report in the newspaper. I had made a video on that. That now companies like Elon Musk's company, companies like Google and Microsoft are saying we may open data centers in the orbit, away from the earth in the orbit. Why? Because neither do we have the space nor can we afford to put so much energy in creating data centers. Now, data centers are monsters, they are technological monsters. They may give us internet and AI benefit, but they consume tremendous amount of water, tremendous amount of energy and electricity. And that is why they create a heavy carbon footprint. If you look at the amount of water that is consumed by data centers, then United Nations has warned that in 2024, AI data centers are using unbelievable amount of water. By 2027, data centers will consume 6.6 billion cubic meters of water. 6.6 billion cubic meters of water. If they consume so much water, they will create a water crisis. For example, training a single large language model can emit 3 lakh kgs of carbon. Can you imagine? The data is right here on your screen. Training a single large language model can release 3 lakh kg of carbon in the atmosphere. Is that not dangerous? That is very, very dangerous. Today, as aware citizens, we are saying let us reduce our consumption of rice. Let us replace rice with millets. Why? Because rice is a carbon intensive crop. Rice releases methane. But what about data? What about large language models and machine learning? They are guzzling water like monsters. Plus, studies have shown that one single AI model can emit 6,26,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. That is equal to 5 cars together, what they can emit in an entire lifetime. Using Chat GPT, all of us are living on Chat GPT today. Students are using Chat GPT to do their homework. Yesterday, I met a student who is now preparing for UGC. She was asking some things about my subject. So I asked her, which books are you using? She says, right now, only Chat GPT, ma'am. Can you suggest a good book? Everybody is practically surviving on Chat GPT, and this Chat GPT consumes 10 times more energy than a Google search per query. So, can you imagine the carbon footprint that you and I are creating today? All in the name of efficiency, the classic ethical debate between economic growth and environmental disaster. What is the global response? Now, I'm asking you this question. I'm asking you this question today. What do you think, there is a global response to this or not? Are people responding? Is the world community giving an answer to this disaster? Yes or no? Yes. Awareness is coming. Look at UNESCO. United Nations in 2021 has issued clearly AI guidelines recognizing environmental harm. Although these are non-binding, but they have been adopted by 190 countries. I will write down here quickly. 190 countries have adopted, but unfortunately, they are non binding in nature. What am I talking about? UNESCO guidelines. In 2021, why are they created? They are created to provide ethical use of AI. Then, why should India take an action today, Bache? Why? Why? Because in India, we are only focusing upon Climate action by encouraging forests, by encouraging forest right, encouraging biodiversity, encouraging transition towards solar energy. But still in India, we do not have a dedicated policy for ethical AI usage. Controlling AI and ethically using AI can also determine climate action. Yes. So, what should be the policy solution for your country and my country? What can we do together? Extended environmental impact assessment under EIA notification. I will write it down here. Environmental impact notification 2006 are very important rules. Today, we must extend this to cover environmental impact assessment of AI. Artificial intelligence. We need to develop standards and measurements for how much water is AI using, how much land electricity is being consumed, how much of electricity used by AI comes from fossil fuel, and how many people are getting displaced because we have to produce data centers. We can enrope NGOs, think tanks also here. We must improve data collection on greenhouse gas emission, energy, water, and natural resource, all consumed by artificial intelligence. It's like a giant technology monster that needs land, that needs water, that needs energy. Somebody will have to pay the price. Then we must include artificial intelligence related environmental impact also. Recently, in the news, all of us, you and I, spoke about corporate social responsibility. I think my students will remember. If I ask a question right now, then bacha quickly tell me. When you talk about the Companies Act 2013, then which section of the act talks about corporate social responsibility? Why was it in the news? Because recently, Honorable Supreme Court of India had said that any company that is registered in India is a legal entity, and therefore it also has to follow its corporate environmental responsibility. CER is a part of CSR. Under which article? Fundamental duty 5051 AG of the Constitution. We have a duty towards protecting environment. Very good, Ramu. Very good. Section 135 of the Companies Act talks about CSR, corporate social responsibility. Today, Honorable Supreme Court says a part of their corporate social responsibility is also to protect climate, environment. Article 51 AG. So we need to implement that strongly. We need to have environmental impact assessment of AI. Into what? For Securities and Exchange Board of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. All these need to follow proper emission impact assessment. Here we can learn a great lesson from European Union. What can we learn? In European Union, I'm writing down here, there is a great concept that is known as Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, CSRD. What do we mean by that? Under this, there is a law in European Union that makes all the companies in Europe, all the companies, whether financial reporting company, whether a manufacturing company, whether a banking company, insurance company, all these have to, in a compulsory manner, report their environmental protocols. How many of the environmental protocols do they follow? And they must also report their emission per unit of production. They have to report, it is compulsory. They have to report emissions from their data centers and high computing activities. It is a mandatory thing for them. Just like you have to disclose your financial reporting, you have to disclose your environmental protocol. It's a rule in Europe. India can learn from that. This is known as AI sustainability, and we must do that. Otherwise, an area that is consuming so much natural resources will leave us poor and deprived in no time. That's it for this article. Quickly, the question, bacha. And as you see the question, let me come to my dear students aspirant. Priyanshu reminds us about Albania. The first AI minister, yes. Yes, very well said. Beautiful, Ramu. 2% of net profit of the last 3 years have to be given as a part of CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility. Beautiful, Ramu. Section 135 of Companies Act. Yes, Very good. What did Vikash say? Yes, very good. Okay, yes, Abhilash. Why can't I do that? I can do that. The class is for you, my dear. After the question, I'll come back to that. Vikash is answering. Priyamvada answers. What's the question? Look at the following statements with regards to AI and its environmental impact. 1. Training and deploying large AI models can lead to significant carbon emission and high water consumption due to data center operations. 2. Global discussions on AI governance have completely ignored environmental cost associated with AI. Read carefully. Every word is important. 3. Extending environmental impact assessment and ESG disclosure frameworks to AI systems can help governments design informed and sustainable AI policies. What's the right answer? Vikash, Priyanshu, Priyamvada, Abhilash, Priyanshu, Debosmita, Rishi, Terukula, Kritik, aspirant. Everyone is answering. My dear Ramu is answering. Diela was the name of that robot. Very good. Which of these are valid then? Some are saying D, some are saying C, some are saying A. It's a very fractured verdict. What to do? Let's break it down. First is correct, absolutely correct. We just saw the data. You can use the data from the PDF. Millions unit of energy and thousands cubic water being consumed by AI. First is correct. First is correct, which means B is not the answer. Second, global discussions on AI have completely ignored. They have completely ignored. Let me take you back to the previous slide. What have I written here, Bache? I asked you a question here. What's the global response? And I said the globe is ready to respond. I know there is a problem. I know there is too much environmental impact. I know there is too much greenhouse gas emission, but the countries of the world are taking it seriously. Yes, they are. I just told you about UNESCO 2021 report. I just told you about Europe. What about Europe? CSRD, Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive. And what do I mean when I say that? What do I mean by CSRD? CSRD is a European Union law that makes it mandatory for all the companies to report their emission and to report how much environmental impact assessment are they following. Just like every company has to report its financial data, you also have to disclose today all your emissions, all your carbon emissions. You have to report that how much carbon emission have you done in maintaining a data center and in doing high computing activities. Yes? Now, did you understand? One of my students was having a doubt about CSRD. Who is that? Is it clear? Is it clear now, everyone? Okay, so now did we understand that we are not completely ignoring? And who said extreme words? Priyanshu said. Yes, that's true. A little cautious we have to be whenever we see extreme words, whether it is CSAT, whether it is GS1. Usually, extreme words will give a faulty kind of a claim. So, second cannot be correct. We are doing so much. Third is correct. Absolutely. So, which is the right answer? C is the right answer then. Well done. Okay? Very good, everyone. I hope all the doubts are clear. Now, quickly, let's race to the third article because this is also editorial today. Today, we are covering all 4 editorials. They were all very important what to do. So, give me exactly 5 minutes for it. Let's quickly summarize. Page number 8, editorial. More for later. I repeat, more for later. What are we talking about? Which topic of UPSC syllabus? GS paper 2, international relations, the relation between India and relation between European Union. Quickly, let me give one line backgrounder before I start talking about the article. Last year, May, President Trump had imposed 50% tariff on our country. And what happened as a result of this tariff? Indian exporters lost their market into America. Before the tariff came, India was doing a $48 billion export business with America. After the tariff came, Indian products lost their value in American market. They became too expensive because of the heavy import duty imposed by America. Indeed, it is an illegal thing to do. America has a free trade agreement with India. And according to World Trade Organization, if you have a free trade agreement with 5 countries, you cannot on your own desire impose extra tariff on one of them. You have to treat all 5 equally. This is known as most favored nation protocol. America broke that protocol, punished us with 50% tariff. Why? Because we were still continuing to buy oil from Russia. That he did later. And he has exited from World Health Organization. When it comes to trade, he's openly breaking all the protocols, but officially he has not stopped. Yes? He has broken the protocol of MFN. It left after that. First, it broke the protocol and then discarded WTO itself, WHO also, UNICEF also. Everything has been left now, right? Now what is happening? With a 50% tariff, naturally, Indian products became unsaleable in American market. We lost the market. The highest export market in the world for India was lost. Now what choice do we have? We need to, who said that? Kritik, diversify. If America is a closed window, we will diversify. What did we do for diversification? We went and signed many free trade agreements with different countries like Japan, Australia, Jordan, Ethiopia, UAE, Saudi, all of that. But the biggest one, European Union. We signed 2 or 3 such agreements from that area. One is India's FTA with European Union. Second is India-UK Free Trade Agreement. That is a proper CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, a broader FTA. And then with 4 nations of European Union, separately we have signed a TEPA, TEPA. You all know about TEPA countries. Liechtenstein, Iceland, Switzerland and Norway. This is separate. Out of these 3, the biggest is European Union. Why do we need to do that? Because we are in an emergency. We can't let our export companies close. They are all labor intensive companies. Gems and jewelry, leather, textile, apparel, toys, carpet. Yes, electronic goods. We can't get these companies shut. So therefore we had to open up new markets and the biggest was European Union. Now, in that background, see what has happened today. Today, European Union leader named as Frederick Merz. I repeat his name, Frederick Merz. It's written right here. He has come to India. This is the first major European leader to visit India in the last few months. The first major European leader. This is signaling a great symbol of India-European Union friendship, because I told you, even in the 2026 Republic Day parade, we are going to invite chief guest from European Union itself. Yes, they are coming from European Union. So therefore, India and European Union are celebrating their friendship today. This is all happening as very soon we are going to also sign and conduct a very senior level India EU summit. I repeat, India EU summit. This is going to happen now. So therefore, we are doing this meeting between Indian Prime Minister Mr. Modi and European leader Frederick Merz. Why is this such an important event for both of them to celebrate? Because India and European Union are conducting something that is known as free trade agreement. Both the countries have today spoken about India and Germany relationship. Now, this man who has come to India is a German leader. So although India is doing a great comprehensive economic partnership agreement with so many countries of Europe, but with Germany, India has a very special relationship. Today we are celebrating India-Germany bilateral relationship as this man, Frederick Merz, is in India. What are we going to do? Let's understand. India and Germany have a great trade between them. Also, let's remember, let's not forget, I have written down here also, but still I will write down here. What? That Germany is the largest economy in European Union. You should remember that. It can come as a question in prelims. So everybody should remember Germany is the largest economy in European Union. Please remember. Today, as Mr. Merz is in India, it is time India and Germany focus on not just trade relations, also people to people relationship. India and Germany have a great trade between them. The trade has already crossed $50 billion in 24-25 financial year. Today, Germany is India's largest trading partner in Europe, and I want you to remember both these three things. Germany, not just the third largest economy in the world, very good critic, but in European Union, the largest economy. In European Union, India's largest trading partner, the largest. Both the countries, therefore, are now trying to push for more and more German investment in India. That is because we measure economy in terms of GDP and national income. And from those standards, Germany rules when it comes to European Union. Yes. Now coming back, which agreements are going to be signed? Today, as the leaders are meeting, there is a great agreement that's going to be signed known as JDI. I repeat, JDI. What is JDI? JDI means Joint Declaration of Interest. Plus many more memorandum of understanding to be signed in defense industrial cooperation. Both countries will exchange with each other defense technology, defense production, raw material, equipment, and they both will share together defense manufacturing. This will enable India to buy better quality defense equipment from European Union. But as both the countries are becoming such good friends, there are certain problematic areas also. There are certain problematic areas also. There are few areas in which there is no agreement even today. Today, they have said, okay, tomorrow let us create more defense collaboration, but there are two areas in which both countries have ideological problem. What is one area? The first area is that European Union continues to be an ally of America. And together they are forcing India to reduce oil import from Russia. They don't want India to import oil from Russia. India sees this as a double standard. Why? Because I have told you earlier. Unfortunately, shockingly, it is many European Union countries like France, Germany, Slovakia, Hungary, Slovenia, Czech that continue to import, if not crude oil, then refined oil products, refined petroleum products from Russia themselves. Many of the European Union countries are still buying natural gas from Russia. Then what right do they have to tell us that do not buy Russian oil? That is one point of difference. Second point of difference between the two is that this chancellor who is visiting India from Germany, Mr. Friedrich Merz, has also said that India should reduce its dependence on Russian defense equipment. How can India do that? India and Russia are like pole star. That's what our Prime Minister said. Indian-Russian friendship goes back to 1971, the time of India-Pakistan war. The Treaty of Permanent Friendship and Cooperation, it continues today. It is Russia which gave us the BrahMos missile. Today, India is selling the same BrahMos missile to Philippines, Taiwan. Tomorrow, possibly Malaysia, Indonesia also. Second, India's great Sudarshan Chakra, Su-400. It is now being upgraded to Su-5 and 600. All of that is because of Russia. How can India reduce its purchase of defense on Russia? It can't, sorry. And that is a point of difference because these people want India to reduce defense purchase from Russia as well. In the light of BrahMos, in the light of Sudarshan Chakra, sorry, we can't do that. So these are 2 points of difference right now. And this is something India has rejected publicly before also, that nobody should comment on India-Russia defense relationship. We are talking about strategic economy, but there is one area in which India and Germany are absolutely supporting each other. And what's that area? Now, this is one area in which President Trump also is willingly supporting. Nobody can say no to this. And this is the Indo-Pacific. Because we all know China's monopoly in the Indo-Pacific area. South China, nine dash line, string of pearls. Taiwan, complete capturing agenda of China. Chinese domination on rare earth metal, critical mineral, semiconductor. And yesterday, Pax Silica. So all the countries, including Germany, have agreed, okay, let us cooperate in the Indo-Pacific. Let us try to reduce our dependence on China. Although, very interesting thing I'm going to tell you now. China is Germany's largest trading partner. I will write down here, nobody should forget. China is Germany's largest trading partner. Largest trade partner. Okay? China is Germany's largest trade partner. But still, Germany understands that you can't depend on China. So, therefore, Germany will, like other countries of Europe and America, support India when it comes to diversifying rare earth material, critical minerals, defense equipment, and protecting the Indo Pacific. Very good. Quad, Malabar are related to that. Very good. One China policy, Yonaguni, Senkaku, Scarborough Shoal. Spratly Island, all these are associated here. What is the grey strategy? Very good. Now what happens, bache? There is something called uh, grey. What is the meaning of grey? Grey means something which is in shadow, something that is not clear to you. A very good example I can give you. Today, India and China are trying to allow easy visa for each other's citizens. Today, India and China are trying to bury their border differences and move towards better bilateral trade. But when it comes to border problem, both are quiet. Nobody openly wants to talk about that because both of them know that's the gray area. That is an area in which there is still dispute going on. I have shown you on the map. There are three areas of conflict. One is in the west, the most serious one, Aksai Chin and Galwan Valley. Then comes the middle, Himachal, Uttarakhand, the least impacted, and then once again a high tension area, east, Arunachal, which China claims as southern Tibet Zangnan. So you see, the actual line of control is still not clear. That's called a grey area. Despite talks of friendship and so much bilateral trade, these are unaddressed problems. That's a grey area. I hope it's clear now. Very well said. Okay. So this is what is going on. Now there is one more sensitive issue. This is more of a, I would say, cultural disagreement. Now there is a controversy between India and Germany. It's a very sensitive issue, by the way. It is about a girl, Ariha Shah. Ariha Shah. She's an Indian child who is in the foster care of Germany since 2021. And Indian diplomacy has repeatedly raised concerns about that. But still, that matter is unresolved. It is a matter of your own domestic laws and policies. You see, these are certain also areas that cause a problem, but mostly it's a good relationship between India and Germany. Whichever are the two problems, we just saw them. Quickly, the question as we proceed. Ghost Army, very good Kojumba. With reference to a recent visit of German Chancellor, now but you also remember this German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, who is now celebrating the Kite Festival with our Prime Minister, and he's the first in the last recent few months, is also, it is his first Asian stop diplomatically. That is very significant. You know, he's one of the first few people from Germany who is coming to negotiate such things in India. So remember that. Now look at the statements. One, Germany is currently India's largest trading partner in Europe, with bilateral trade crossing $50 billion in 24/5. Second, during the visit, India and Germany signed a binding defense agreement, procurement agreement to immediately replace India-Russia origin defense equipment. And three, the Viksit, sorry, I'm completely obsessed with Viksit Bharat. Three, the visit was linked to wider India-European Union engagement, including efforts to revive India-EU trade negotiation. Which of these are valid? Answers are coming wonderfully. Rebina, Satya, Ramu, Debosmita, Hari, Priyanshu, Vikash, my dear Eric, Terukula, and Abhilash, Kritik. Everyone, yeah, even I read Viksit. I think Terukula, we are obsessed with Viksit Bharat. Whenever I'm seeing words with V, I'm reading them as Viksit only nowadays. I don't know what's happening to me. Shubham Sumit, very well answered. Obviously, it is C, is what Tauthang says. It's a no brainer. It's not a no-brainer. It's because you are becoming very smart now. Leah and Kojumba. Very good. C is the right answer. Very good. Very good, everyone, as always. Second is not right. Because somebody was mentioning relos agreement. Yes, there is relos, there is BrahMos, there is Sudarshan Chakra. India will continue defense imports from Russia. America and EU can have their problems. Sorry, we can't help it. Yeah, constantly we are thinking Viksit, Viksit, Viksit. Yesterday I also did the same thing. I was reading an article. It said vivacious and I'm reading Viksit. I don't know, completely obsessed with Viksit. Okay, very good Aru, very good Satya, great Nagraj, Pushpita, well done. Well done everyone. There is no binding procurement. Very good, Kojumba. Now, next article, Bacha, this is also editorial. What to do today, editorial is very crucial, but this is not a lengthy one. Not a lengthy one. Exactly 3 minutes, we can close this article if you listen with attention. So please focus. Okay? Last editorial for the day. Focus. We are looking at now a very Indian problem. Absolutely, aspirant. Correct. We are looking at a very Indian problem right now. We all know in India there is a concept of regionalism because from 1964 onwards itself, 1966 onwards itself, in India we believe in the concept. Sorry, why 60? It goes back to actually 1956 onwards. We believe in the concept of creating linguistic states in India. Linguistic states. We all know India is a polycultural, multicultural country. There is not one language, one religion. Sorry. There are so many of them. India is polycultural. So therefore, India has many linguistic groups, many languages, many dialects. If you look at the constitutional side of it, it is the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution which officially recognizes 22 scheduled languages. And what is scheduled? Anything that is mentioned in the Constitution is scheduled. So we have 22 languages, but then if you look at a very informal estimation, India could have more than 441 languages and dialects. That's a very good thing. At the same time, it can be problematic as well because it gives birth to something that's called linguistic regionalism. Many times I have told you regionalism is a good thing. Why? Because when you believe in regionalism, you will do everything that you can to promote your region, to do welfare for your region. But when this phenomena becomes extreme, when this becomes linguistic jingoism, it leads to ethnocentric attitude. When you are too obsessed with your ethnicity, your language, your religion, your culture, and that's when people from one state start looking at people from other states as outsiders. It leads to xenophobia, hatred towards outsiders. It's very predominant in India, the language debate. That's also the reason why long back in India, the three language policy was a failure. Most of the states were not ready to learn the language of other state. Today, the new education policy of 2020 is also debatable, with many states in the Deccan Indian region refusing to implement NEP, saying that the new national education policy is also promoting the three language formula, and no state wants to learn the language of another state. In the southern Indian states, it's manifesting in the form of anti Hindi rhetoric. Yes. When regionalism becomes like this, it becomes another problem. It is known as anti nationalism. We know about it, right? Then it becomes anti nationalism. Very good, Abhilash. Then it is anti nationalism. If I ask you which is the first state in India to be created on linguistic basis, you may want to say before independence, Odisha. After independence, Andhra. Yes, but it's not an old phenomenon. Until up to 2014, we have seen Telangana being separated from Andhra. Why? What's the major reason? Ethnicity and language. This debate in India continues despite Niti Aayog talking about cooperative nationalism, federalism, despite under Pandit Nehru creating the zonal council, interstate council, we could not create a kind of unity at all. Yes? Now, in that backdrop, today we have another controversy coming from Kerala. Yes. What does Kerala say? Kerala recently decided to pass a bill that is known as Malayalam Language Bill 2025. What's the aim? The aim is to promote Malayalam as the official language of Kerala, of the state. But opposition leaders in Karnataka have a problem. This is a very good example of interstate regionalism. interstate dispute. Karnataka people are saying, Karnataka leaders are saying it's not good. It is going to harm the linguistic minorities who belong to Karnataka but who are living in Kerala. Why should we impose Malayalam on them? But today, this Malayalam language bill seeks a wider use of Malayalam in government, administration, education, judiciary, and IT within the constitution. It proposes Malayalam as the first language for school children to strengthen the language within the people of the state, to promote the culture of the state. At the same time, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka have raised concern. They are saying that this is not okay. This will create linguistic bias towards our minorities. The state government of Kerala has clarified. It says if in our state we have minorities from Tamil speaking area and Kannada speaking area in the notified areas, they can communicate with the government in their own language. We are not saying no to that. They can also receive reply from the government and the administration. We are not saying no to that either. But students whose mother tongue is not Malayalam can also study in other languages. New education policy is also saying the same thing. New education policy is saying the same thing. Why can't they study another language then? Why are you creating a controversy? But the non-Malayali students from other states, although they have been given an exemption, they can write their exams in a different language from Malayalam in the higher grades, and still the debate is going on. Despite that, the outsiders are not convinced. They are not convinced. They are saying if you create this kind of a blanket law by allowing only Malayalam for government use, administrative use, for courts use, you are definitely doing a kind of linguistic alienation of people in your state. In India, if we allow any state to choose its official language, we also allow an article that's in the constitution itself, that's Article 19. That's right to freedom. Under right to freedom, in India, people have the fundamental right to travel from one place to another within their country, to reside and settle in any part of their country, to take up any occupation, to form an association, to form a cooperation or a body or a union. They all have a right towards that. That means people can legally settle in Kerala. There is no bar. There is no bar from doing that. But then if you make language as a criteria for settlement and education and administration, it could tomorrow lead to alienation of minorities. That's what people say. The bill was once rejected, but it was repassed after the centre returned the earlier version in 2015 following a Supreme Court directive that you can't delay the bills indefinitely. The centre would have delayed it indefinitely. But now the centre cannot do that because recently the Honorable Supreme Court has also said that whether it's the president or the governor, you cannot delay a bill indefinitely. So therefore, centre had to return the bill now. And India has multiple linguistic communities. Migration is fully allowed under Article 19. It's a right to freedom of movement. So therefore, language policy must promote all the languages, although it should protect minorities too. Under Article 25 to 30 of the Constitution, we protect our minorities. Therefore, before making a blanket law, it's a wiser idea to consult bodies like Interstate Council, to consult bodies like the zonal councils, so that at least people can be on the same page and they can stop fighting with each other. Because language is a representation of your culture. It is something to celebrate. When it becomes a point of contention, it defeats the purpose of unity in diversity. Because I've told you earlier also, in India, when we say unity in diversity, we say the principle laid down by Pandit Nehru, but ultimately the principle implemented in Constitution by his daughter, Miss Indira Gandhi. Unity without uniformity and diversity without fragmentation. So that's the spirit that we have to uphold, okay? So that's what the article said. I hope it's clear to everyone. Somebody reminded me, who is that? Yes, the PM Shri also. Very well said. PM Shri, absolutely. There was a controversy there too. When Tamil Nadu said, I am not going to implement PM Shri scheme, it was in the news throughout 2025. It can come in the exam. At least in paper 2 of GS, it will come. which is about creating a role model perfect schools in India, right? Tamil Nadu rejected. But Tamil Nadu said, if I am rejecting, center is threatening me that I am not giving you a single penny under new education policy 2020. So later Tamil Nadu said, okay, let me accept it. So whether it's about finance commission, whether it's about Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra saying that we don't get money from finance commission because we are developed, we are paying the price of being excellent, or whether it's a linguistic controversy, all these are regional problems. This is exactly the concept of regionalism. So tomorrow, if you are writing an answer on regionalism, whether it's GS paper 1 or 2, you must mention these examples. Regionalism can be anything. It could be linguistic. It could be financial alienation. It could be a river water dispute. It could be minority versus majority. All these things are coming under the ambit. Okay. Very good, Vikash. Yes, Kerala absolutely resisted Chandrika. Absolutely. Yes, do you? Okay, thanks for saying that, Satya. Very good. Vertical devolution. Article 280, 281. Very good. Very good. Absolutely. Now, quickly, yes. Uttar Pradesh versus Tamil Nadu article we have done. Very good, Abhilash. Negative nationalism. Brilliant, Kojumba. Brilliant, brilliant. Absolutely great. Telegram channel is not there with you even now, but my students are sharing constantly. No, you didn't find it. Okay, I will also write down in the last page. Okay, okay, I will write. Now, quickly, the next article. Congratulations, you're done with the editorial. Now, the next article is from text page. I have done my best to make it as easy as we can. And then, quickly, we will summarize the remaining ones. And I'm trying to now close a little early because I want you to study static topics also. Prelims is coming. Let's quickly look into the article. What's going on? Please focus, everyone. My dear, please focus. This comes from GS paper 3, Science and Technology, but also it is GS paper 2 because it is about right to privacy, polity and governance. Article 21, the right to life and dignity, subsumes the right to privacy. Yes. So what is this article saying quickly? Is the government seeking phones source code? Is the Indian government now trying to take our source code from our phones? Will it impact our right to privacy? Is it related to right to information? Is it related to DPDP? Digital Personal Data Protection 2023? Is it related to Sanchar Sathi? What's going on? Are we becoming a surveillance society? Is it related to, very good, who said that? Hari. Putta Swami case? What is happening? Let's quickly summarize. Okay, listen carefully. There is a report created by the Reuters. Very good, Vikash. Very good statement. Section 79 of the IT Act, Safe Harbor. Well done. Quickly focus, Bacha. We are looking at a report coming from Reuters. Carefully, everyone. Reuters. What does it say? It says Indian government is now considering a kind of rules that will require smartphones and smartphone manufacturers to share their source code with a third party organization who will have a data and who will make a list of these source codes. They will do testing on that, and then from there they will pass the information to the government before any software update can take place. The government later was very, very shocked to listen to this Reuters report, and the Indian government said, no, not at all. We have not done anything like that, and we are not interested in any such compulsory demand of source code. What is source code? This much drama, this much, fanatism. What is source code? Source code is something that tells the phone what to do. Just like my brain is telling me what to do. It's like an instruction book in the phone. It tells the phone what to do, how to turn on the screen, how to open the app, how to close the app, how to access the internet, how to keep your phone safe, charged, how to keep it in a low battery mode. And it keeps your photos and messages safe for you. That is called source code. All these instructions are written in a special computer language that humans are creating through coding and computers can understand. That is a source code. So, in a very simple way, a source code I have written here also is a blueprint It's a basic blueprint software that runs your digital system. Although, if you talk about Android phones have many open source components, but every Android phone maker is also modifying that open source, and through these custom modifications, they maintain a very unique kind of source code. It is confidential. Yes, it is confidential. It is very sensitive. Why? Because if the code is leaked, if the secret is leaked, it becomes a cyber security threat. If the internal code is exposed, hackers will take advantage. Hackers can then easily find loopholes and your data will go. You will be more prone to cyber attack. They can do anything. They can manipulate your phone, and on your behalf, they can do any transaction. Therefore, this proposal of the Indian government trying to obtain source code of smartphones is dangerous. It can lead to something that somebody just said. Who said that? Digital authoritarianism. Who used that word here right now? And why did I miss that word? Critics said digital authoritarianism. Absolutely. Digital despotism, digital dictatorship. That's what it means. As Vikash was mentioning, initially we had the Sanchar Sathi controversy, where it was made compulsory to download the Sanchar Sathi app before any new phone can be given to a customer. For the existing users, you will have to download that. Government said it is important to find lost phones so that phones cannot be abused outside India's territory, so that we can attack and capture cyber criminals. But later, when the controversy broke out, the Department of Telecommunications stepped back and said, no, we are not making it compulsory. It was just a rumor. That's why the 53rd Chief Justice of India, Justice Surya Kant, also said, kindly do not spread rumors about jurisdictions that have not been officially passed. Whether it's about Sanchar Sathi controversy, whether it was about making Chandigarh into a proper union territory without legislature. Both these were rumors. None of them had been passed by the parliament. That's why our Chief Justice today said, avoid making sub-judice controversies. Bills that are still under jurisdiction should not be disclosed in the media. And this is what happens. Sanchar Sathi was taken back. Today, once again, if the government wants, very good Terukula, if the government wants source code, it could mean digital dictatorship. Absolutely. And that's not okay. That is not okay for a country that is a dynamic, evolving society. It is very controversial because governments in the whole world, they usually never ask companies to disclose full source code. Even in a country as dictatorial as China, Apple International has not shared its full source code with the Chinese government. It is seen as a very intrusive and a very interventionist measure. It is much more than normal monitoring or normal regulation. The issue became very common after the Sanchar Sathi controversy that are we trying to become a surveillance society? Why should we disclose the source code? It is very risky because unlike visible software, internal system will expose entire phone architecture to the government departments, and it could be abused. If by mistake this data is leaked to a private company, it will lead to data massacre. It will create a complete sharing of data. No more data privacy, sorry. No more data privacy. No more right to privacy. No more Puttaswamy verdict. No more Article 21. It will completely get vanished. It's very dangerous. Now, if you look at India's history when it comes to regulating telecom sector, you might consider Telecommunication Act 2023. During the Telecommunication Act 2023, Indian government itself said that smartphones are already certified by the Bureau of Indian Standards. So therefore, they do not have to pass from a mandatory testing known as MTC TE testing. What is this? MTCTE testing is not mandatory for smartphone, but what is this? It is a compulsory certification from the government for telecom equipment that is sold or imported in India. Under these rules, equipment must pass security and technical test before it is sold to the public in the market. Yes, but the government said we don't need to do this because already they are passed by the Bureau of Indian Standards. The responsibility shifted to the Ministry of Electronics and Information Commission, who said, we don't need any specific MTCTE certification for phones. They are already valid. They are verified by Bureau of Indian Standards, and therefore Indian government keeps a very open policy here. We keep a very open policy here. Very good, Ram. Absolutely. But today, as the government is thinking of procuring the source code completely, this could mean a threat to people's privacy. Yes, this could mean a breakdown of DPDP Act 2023, Digital Personal Data Protection. We clearly say we do not disclose the data regarding personal messages, personal emails. They should be protected even for criminals under investigation. But openly giving public's data is another level of intrusion. And therefore, today there are bodies like Internet Freedom Foundation, IFF. There are bodies like India Cellular Electronic Association, ICEA, who have openly criticized this policy of the government, demanding more transparency, demanding the fact that open public consultation should be allowed. If you just directly give the open source code, it may mean no policy when it comes to privacy in India. So that is why it's a highly debatable issue right now. That is what this article said. Now we are done with the lengthy articles. In just 3-4 minutes, let's summarize the remaining ones. Very well said, Ramu and Kojumba. 81J, very good. Private information, personal information that needs to be protected. Everybody, please, you can read these 3-4 comments. Ramu, Vikash, Kojumba, Priyanshu, very well said. Yes, absolutely. It approached even in the Kejriwal case. Very good. Chandra, very good. Now, quickly the question. I'm sorry, the next article. It's a short one. President Trump's latest tariff threat has come again. Why? Yesterday, President Trump said. Now, there are three very interesting things here. So, listen carefully for a minute. Initially, in 2025, we already saw 50% tariff on countries which are buying oil from Russia. Recently, President Trump said, now I can impose 500% tariff on countries that continue to import oil from Russia, and therefore countries like China, top buyer, India, second largest buyer, countries like Turkey, third largest buyer, and other nations of the world, including EU, were very afraid. Yesterday, he has said something else. He says if any country continues its trade with Iran, any kind of export-import relationship with Iran, I will import an additional 25% on its American trade. Another 25% tariff if found guilty of trading with Iran. Will it impact India? Fortunately, not exactly. Because we just saw in the first article, so I'm not repeating in detail. Earlier, India used to import heavy volumes of Iranian oil, lots of Iranian oil. But ever since American sanctions have come, paying Iran has become a challenge, and therefore today India and Iran have a very little to zero oil trade. Majority of trade today has been diversified between India and Iran. So the total volume of trade has also fallen down tremendously. It's very less today. And even in the existing sectors, it's mostly very good terukula. It's about basmati rice, apples, pistachio, dry fruit, carpet, or some kind of things like tea, rice, fruits, pharmaceutical product. Plus, India also exports humanitarian goods to Iran. Basic medicine and pharmaceutical supply, which anyway are outside the tariff coverage. So therefore, it will not do any long-term damage to India. Thank God we are safe right now. That's it. Next, President Trump has cancelled all his talks with Iran. Iran said, after the threat came from Trump, that I'm ready to do a table negotiation with America. Let's have a negotiation. Let's talk about it. Because protests in Iran are only getting ugly day by day. Plus, there is a rumor of Reza Pahlavi coming back. Iran is also nervous there. Okay, right now it's doing its best to control. Very good, Vikash and Kojumba. But now, President Trump says, I am not ready to talk to you, sorry. And I don't regret the fact that I attacked you last year in June 25. I destroyed your nuclear facility because I am not guilty about that at all. Plus, I am not interested in talking with you. You dare try to hurt any protester in your country. Give them respect. And I am waiting for the time that when your protest gets out of control, I will come and capture all your institutions. So, no negotiation. Plus, if any country trades with you, I will put 25% tariff on that. Iran says, wow, once again, after Venezuela, you are trying to break down Article 2.4 of United Nations Charter. President Trump says, what is United Nations? When I am not even a part of it, why should I care about what protocol I am breaking? That's all. And now the last quick analysis for the day before I take your leave. This is page number 1, the first page itself. What has happened? In India, we all know citizenship is a very crucial topic. It is covered under Part 2 of Indian Constitution. It corresponds to Article 5 to Article 11. Indian citizenship. Who decides in India who is the citizen of India? It is decided by who? The Home Ministry, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Part 2 of the Constitution, and it is decided by the Citizenship Act 1955. Sorry, there is nobody else who will decide who is the citizenship, who is the citizen in India. Election Commission cannot decide that. Today, the controversy has broken down because the Supreme Court is questioning the Election Commission of India. That in India, we have a fundamental right that is called right to equality and right to life. It is very close to the idea of Article 326. I repeat, Article 326 of the Indian Constitution guarantees every Indian citizen the right to give their vote. They have to be above 18 years of age and they have to be valid Indian citizen. And yes, they can give their vote because we believe in universal adult franchise. They can give their vote to Lok Sabha or Legislative Assembly or urban local bodies or any other democratic setup. They are allowed. Universal adult franchise. Today's Supreme Court is asking the Election Commission that why and on what basis are you removing so many names from the electoral roll while you are conducting the special intensive revision? We all know you are doing special intensive revision to clear up and to clean up your electoral roll. We need to make them updated. We need to remove the names of dead people, permanently migrated people. We need to add the names of eligible voters, immigrants. Very good. But on what basis are you removing lakhs of names like that? Unfortunately, majority of those whose names are being removed are either women or migrant people. Is it not kind of a gender or informal sector abuse? Or why and on what basis are you doing that? So the Supreme Court has questioned the authority of the Election Commission of India to remove the names of voters under special intensive revision of electoral rules. When the Election Commission has no right to decide who is the citizen, then what right do they have to remove so many names? And that is what the court is questioning. So what's the response given by the Election Commission? Election Commission is saying, see, I know I am nobody to decide citizenship. I work under Article 324. But my duty is to maintain valid updated electoral rules. It's my duty. I can't deny that. So, I will remove names when I feel that these names are outdated or invalid. But the people whose names have been deleted, they have every right to go and file an application in the court. And then it is the court and the government who will take the final call. Who is the citizen? Who is not the citizen? I am not there to decide. But it is my duty to make the electoral roll. So I will remove the names which I feel are invalid or duplicate. You can't stop me from doing that. It is my duty under Article 324, but it doesn't mean I am trying to invalidate Article 326. Yes, every citizen above 18 who is a valid citizen can give their vote. So you take the call. If I have removed the names, yes, these people can go and they can talk to the court and then their issue will be considered like that. And then the Supreme Court and the government can take the final call based on Part 2 of the Constitution. Based on Citizenship Act 1955, the Ministry of Home Affairs can decide who is the valid citizen and whose citizenship can be questioned, and therefore they will be tried by the foreign tribunals. Now, one day, I think one student was asking, ma'am, which are the valid documents that prove Indian citizenship? So, bacha, your Aadhaar card will not prove that. It is a proof of your address. It is not a proof of your citizenship. Because in India, citizenship will not be proved by one single universal document. It doesn't happen like that. Courts and authorities always demand a combination of documents in order to give you guaranteed citizenship. We always in India believe in two principles: citizenship by birth, also, that is known as jus soli. If you are born in Indian soil, you are a citizen. Plus, we also believe in just consanguine. We also believe in citizenship by descent, plus by registration, by acquisition, by naturalization. All these are in part 2 of Indian Constitution. Yes, but there are protocols to follow. So therefore, usually very strong citizenship proofs are very good. Passport, birth certificate, especially if it is issued before 1st July 1987 and if it is linked to your parents' citizenship, then certificate of citizenship issued by under Citizenship Act 1955, registration or naturalization. Then you have secondary documents like parent citizenship records, school records, very good, matriculation certificate, very good, school records like leaving certificate, place of birth, date of birth, domicile, census record, or all government records. All these are valid. Now, Aadhaar alone is not valid. Sorry. Voter ID also is not a conclusive proof, although we support it, but it is not a conclusive proof. So, either by birth or by descent, either by naturalization or by registration. Ultimately, it's a combination of documents which prove that. Very good. Yes, it is the legacy data kojumba, your history, that ultimately proves that. Just soli and just consanguine. Just sanguine. Very good. Very, very good. So that's it for the day. One last question and then I'll take your leave, my dear. Good, Eric, but not standalone. With reference to proof of citizenship, look at these statements. 1. A valid Indian passport is considered a strong evidence of Indian citizenship. 2. Aadhaar card establishes the identity and residence of a person, but not by itself Indian citizenship. And 3. Citizenship in India can be acquired through birth. Think again, think again, think again. Descent, registration, naturalization under Citizenship Act 1955. Which of these statements are valid? Think again, bache. Read all the concepts carefully. I just said there are certain strong proofs of citizenship. Which are these? Birth certificate, school documents, matriculation, birth certificate, passport, any registration or naturalization document given under Citizenship Act 1955. Birth certificate, especially if it's issued before 1st July 1987. Which is the answer? First is correct. It is a strong evidence. It's correct. Second is correct. Correct. Aadhaar is a proof of your residence, identity, but it cannot by itself prove citizenship. Correct. Third is correct. Correct. So all three are correct, making D the right answer. Very well answered. Very well answered, everyone. Manisha, you were there. I know. I now saw you. I don't know if it's Manish or Manisha, but welcome to the class and thank you for your participation. And that's it from my side. Now, those who are preparing for prelims or 27, 28 means, but I don't remember my code SPLIVE. Every day I forget talking about it, but please you remember code SPLIVE. Use code SPLIVE. Tell your friends. Popularize, advertise, help me. Okay, so if you want to join these batches, use code SPLIVE. You will get heavy discount for 26, 27, 28. We are still running batches and the admissions are closing very soon because one batch starts today for 26 prelims. The others are closing admission on 17th. So do remember about that. Thank you so much, Hari, and thank you each one of you for making this initiative successful. Today, luckily, our batch strength also increased. Let's grow the group. Let's achieve a high number because the more the merrier. Yes? And keep supporting each other just like you always do. God bless you. Absolutely, I love each one of you. You can find the PDF in Telegram channel. I will upload today for today's also. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye and God bless you. Bye-bye. Eric, Chandra, Aspirant, Hari, Vikash, Vanishka, Anup, Terukula, Sitaram, Kojumba, Ramu, and who else? Aspirant, and Pushpita, Urupam, Satya, Rishi, Manish, Dia, Priyanshu, Sumit, Sumed, Saurav, Rebina, Bhumitesh, Terukula, and Abhilash, Tauthang, Vanishka, Satya. I think I'm taking most names. Okay. Hari, and who else? Nagaraj, Kritik, Tauthang I have mentioned. Rebina. That's it. Abhilash. Okay. Pushpita, Madhav. Yes, Madhav. Bye bye, everyone. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. Bye, Ramu. Happy Pongal. Happy Sankranti. Lots of happiness to my